When it comes to football trading on Betfair, we all know we need strategies, but just how many strategies do you need? Is it a case of the more the merrier or quality over quantity? We're going to answer this question in good detail in this video, and you'll have a good idea of just what you should be looking for. So go grab a nice cold beer or a protein shake and let's get into it. So this is definitely a subject I don't really see covered that much on the internet, but it is a question I do get quite a lot in one form or another. And how many football trading systems or strategies do you really need? And you might be thinking this is a simple question to answer. I'm just going to tell you the magic number and that is it. However, asking how many strategies you need or how many strategies I need, it's like asking how long is a piece of string, since everyone is going to have different wants and needs. But generally, when it comes to football trading strategies and the amount of strategies that people use, I see many novices making these two mistakes. And mistake number one is not having enough strategies. There are many who probably naively kind of stumble into this scene and just think, well, I only need one strategy. If it makes a profit, that's all I need. I'll just stick to that one strategy. However, they're not considering that not every strategy is always going to win and win every week. There are going to be, there's definitely going to be some pullbacks and some losing streaks, no matter what strategy that you use. And that is why you probably need multiple strategies. But then how many? Because I see some people go on the complete opposite end and make this mistake and have too many strategies to the point where they end up overwhelmed, especially if they're new to the trading world, and it can be easy to get confused if you take too many strategies on at once. And some actually have so many strategies, and I see this quite a lot, that the strategies they use often end up contradicting each other. And there is no room for a conflict of interest when you are investing in anything. So I'm going to dive into more detail about the exact amount of strategies you need, or a good balanced number of strategies anyway, in just a moment. But firstly, I do strongly suggest you click the link in the description below to download a free copy of this, the Betfair Cash Out Secrets Handbook. It's absolutely crucial for beginners or even intermediates, so you can learn how to cash out manually. That's very, very important to learn. It's amazing how many people have been trading Betfair for years and don't know how to do that. It will also teach you how to create free bets and also how to deploy some more advanced cash out methods, and it's absolutely free. It's a crucial thing to have, and you can get your copy from the description below. Enter your best email address and we will send it right to you. I see many people putting in a fake email address. Well, then we can't email you the book. So put in your best email address and I will email it right to you, okay? And before we go any further, if you haven't done it already, I would really love it if you could press that like button to support the channel. All these videos, they do take a lot of time and research in order to give them to you for free. And all we want in return is a quick press of the like button. And this helps the channel to keep going and for you to keep getting your favorite sports trading videos on a regular basis. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button too, and you'll get all the new videos as soon as they are out. So what is the solution and how many strategies do you need? Well, firstly, you need to definitely have more than one strategy, and ideally you need to create a portfolio of strategies. Okay, now I understand why some people think that only one strategy can work and they just want to concentrate, but in the long term you're gonna need multiple strategies and you are going to need a portfolio. And here's the thing, if you're a beginner, I would say you need a minimum of at least 4 strategies to use on the football markets. Okay, this is for the football market specifically in this video. So a minimum of 4 if you're a beginner, and if you've got a bit more experience, probably a maximum of 10. Now, the whole idea behind having a portfolio is that not every strategy we use is always going to be profitable, especially if we look at it on a week-to-week basis. There might be strategies that have a losing week, a losing month, maybe even a strategy that has a losing season, but with a healthy, balanced portfolio, you'll find the profitable strategies will keep you in a profit overall. And that is the idea, okay? We have to accept that not every strategy we use is always going to be profitable. But if you're using 10 strategies and one of them has a real purple patch, that could be enough to put you in profit for the season, even if some of your other strategies have a bad run. Okay, so the whole point of having a portfolio is the equivalent of not having all your eggs in one basket. People who are trying to use just one strategy are pretty much keeping all their eggs in that one strategy basket. Okay, and for some watching this, 10 strategies might sound like a lot, but for something like football trading, it's not really a lot, because there are so many different matches, different markets, and trading opportunities on a daily basis. And as you build up your experience, 10 strategies isn't really that much, but more than 10, and it can be kind of hard to handle. Now, I know there's probably some watching this who have automated strategies, and if that is the case, then you can probably use as many as you can handle. But for those trading manually, 10 is a good number. And also you have to think about what I mentioned earlier with the whole conflict of interest. When you start to trade so many different markets, well, you could find strategies which contradict each other. I mean, you might have one strategy which needs goals, and then you're using on the same match a strategy which doesn't need goals, and then, well, a bit of a conflict of interest, right? So minimum of 4, maximum of 10 is probably a good number. So if you are starting out, aim for at least 4. But I mean, here's a good question. How many strategies do you have in your own portfolio, especially if you are a pro or a full-timer or just a profitable football trader in general? Tell me in the comments and let me know how many strategies you have in your portfolio. And does this number sound right or fair to you? Are you someone who uses less than 4 strategies and is successful with it? It'd be very interesting to hear that. Do leave a comment. Let me know the answer, okay? But I'm not done yet, since this is only half the answer. And here is the thing. Shaping a portfolio is a skill in itself, and not many novices will have even considered this, okay? So what I'm going to give you is the key ingredients to a successful portfolio, okay? The key components for a nice, healthy, balanced portfolio of strategies. And this is something which will be some pretty serious food for thought for many that have been maybe kind of floating around with football trading, trying different methods here and different methods there. And here are some of the key ingredients to a good, successful portfolio. Now, firstly, you need balance, and I'm going to explain these in a little bit more detail, don't worry. You also need that diversification, and you also need comfort, okay? Now, balance. So you want to balance your portfolio and probably have 80% of your strategies to be those reliable, consistent strategies which are generally pretty profitable, don't have that many long losing runs. For myself, it's probably something like the fireball methods on the goal markets. But then you want 20% of your strategies to maybe be a bit more speculative. They can have long losing runs, but they can bring in those really big wins when they do come in. And from my own point of view, that's probably methods like System X or Relay Reloaded, okay? And then you got a nice balance, okay? The 80% strategies are gonna keep you afloat, keep those profits ticking over. But those 20% strategies, those are the ones which really give you those really, really good days when they come along, okay? So you need that balance. You can't have a portfolio which is swinging in the complete opposite direction, just full of those speculative methods, because they're going to have the long losing runs, and then your whole portfolio is just going to be just going down every single week, and that is very, very hard to handle mentally, okay? And if you don't, and if you do it on the opposite way, and you just have those reliable, consistent strategies which don't make the really big wins, well, yeah, you're going to spend a lot of time probably treading water, not really making the progress that you want. You might end up with some profit, but hey, we're trying to make bigger profits here with our trading. So anyway, that's the idea behind having a balance, okay? You want to have those kind of high reward strategies alongside those more consistent strategies at the same time. And if we go on to number 2 with diversification, okay? So ideally, you want to have strategies that you can use in the first half and then ones in the second half, okay? Football trading has so many different opportunities. And so you could have strategies for low scoring matches, strategies for high scoring matches as well. And this will put you in a position where there is just more opportunity for you in the football markets, okay? So that's definitely something to think about as well, as long as you're not using strategies which contradict each other. That's very, very important. But also comfort. and this is a very underrated factor that I don't really hear many people talk about, but when you're looking at any sort of strategy, whether it's a strategy you read on the internet, maybe you got it off a course, or maybe your mate down the pub told you about it, but if you want to use it, no matter how profitable that strategy is, if you're not comfortable using it, you're not going to stick with it. I promise you. Now, it's fine when you're using a strategy and it's just winning and you're seeing your balance and your bank rising and rising. That's great. But what happens during the inevitable losing runs? And every strategy is going to have a bit of a losing run. It's going to have a bit of a downturn. So when you look at any strategy, you have to be honest with yourself before you commit to using it, and ask yourself if you're really going to stick with it during the bad times. For example, if you don't feel comfortable trading the unders markets, then it's probably not best for you to have those strategies in your portfolio just yet, since you're going to be very likely to just give up on it as soon as the bad times arrive. I mean, you could be given the most profitable under 2.5 goals strategy of all, but if you're not comfortable trading that market, you're not going to stick with it, and then you're not going to make a profit. Another trader who is comfortable, they will make a profit, but you won't make a profit using it because you're very, very likely to give up on it. And so this leads me on to another key ingredient right here. And this is a big one. It is commitment. You need to commit to your portfolio. Once you've decided on the strategies which are going into your portfolio, and like we mentioned on the previous slide, if you're comfortable with them, then you need to commit to the minimum of 1 season using that system or using that strategy. Ideally, in an ideal world, you should probably be committing to at least 5 years. But I know that's a bit of a stretch for a lot of people. And even a season is a bit of a stretch for a lot of people. But you need to commit to at least a season when you're using a strategy. Make an allocation within your overall trading bank for it, and then stick to it till the very end. And I remember at the start of this season, just gone, the one just finished, when there were a few new strategies floating around, and I kind of observed how people were getting on with them, and I noticed that some used them and then gave up within a month of the season starting. And you kind of think, well, what was the point of even starting if you're going to give up so quickly? You know, the season starts, bit of a slow start, bit of an instant downturn, which is never fun when you're trying out a new system or strategy. But surely you kind of knew there was going to be a downturn at some point, right? So if the downturn comes right at the start, well, surely it's only upwards after that. But a lot of people don't really think that far ahead and will just give up so quickly, okay? Now, like I said, you might still get a strategy that loses money over a whole season. And if that is the case, then it is fair after that year to then reanalyze your portfolio, rebalance your portfolio, and just kind of think whether that is a strategy you want to pursue. There could be other reasons why it was in a loss for that season, but you have to do your own analysis and only then decide whether you should keep going with it. But honestly, many really do give up on strategies too quickly, and that is why they're inevitably losing money in the long term. And I mean, I get emails from people saying that they started using a strategy, they've committed a 2K bank to it, but they stopped because their bank went down by 50%. And I say, well, in that case, your bank wasn't actually 2K, was it? You actually just used the 1K bank. Now, if you're going to commit a bank to it, because more than likely, you might experience that 50% downturn, and I've seen it with some strategies. But if you keep going, you could be able to recover that loss and more, okay? And a system can only be in a loss when you actually stop using it, okay? So if it is in a loss and then you give up on it, you've pretty much guaranteed that loss, okay? When you may as well keep going because you might be able to claw it back. And don't get me wrong, I do totally understand why people give up on systems and strategies during those bad runs and when it looks like they're hemorrhaging cash. But if you're going to do this, then make that commitment and you might be surprised at the end results. I have seen systems completely swing, have absolutely nightmarish runs, but after the nightmarish run can usually be that purple patch, okay? So like I said, make that commitment. Anyway, with the Euros fast approaching, I am currently getting a huge amount of emails about what you can see on the screen right now, and that's the opening of my premium course, Ultimate Football Trading. Funnily enough, compared to the subject of the video, those who join UFT actually get access to my own personal portfolio of 8 football trading strategies that I would say is very balanced. It's a very balanced portfolio with the low risk and high reward and the more consistent methods. And it is a portfolio that I'm obviously very comfortable with. So you will get that as well as a whole bunch of other stuff and basically everything you need to learn how to trade football. Now, with Ultimate Football Trading, we only open it up to the public a few times per year. The last time we opened was around 4 or 5 months ago, but we're accepting new members for the Euros. If you want to get an invite, you have to click the link in the description of the video. I'm going to put the link right at the top so none of you miss it. Okay, so like I said, if you do want to learn football trading during the Euros and then be ready for the new football season, then this is the course you absolutely need. You should get everything you need to get going with football trading inside there. You can see some of the description on the screen. Okay, so like I said, if you want to get that invite, you need to be on the list. Click the link in the description of the video and then put your very best email address on the list. Okay, now I've got another question for you while you're still there. Now, how many trades should you do in a single football match? Many who are new to football trading often assume that you find one good trade in a match, execute it and move on. Actually, the opposite is true, as most pro traders often do multiple trades per match. The main idea being to leverage up our profits without taking any added risk. Now, I explain this concept in more detail on the video you should be able to see on the screen right now, alongside some real life demonstrations so you can see exactly how to do it yourself. This could be a game changer of a video for some, so definitely check that out. Click the link, go grab a nice cold beer, and I will see you in the next video.